having someone that believes in you, I think it's definitely beneficial. I mean, I don't want to say that it's like an end all be all, because there are people that, you know, only believe in themselves, and that's all kind of the support they have, and
Yeah.
they achieve whatever they're driving towards. But having someone that's in your corner saying, "You can do this," like, might be hard, it's gonna be a bumpy road, but you can do this. Like, this is within
Yeah.
your wheelhouse if you want it. Like, that's important, and that helps, because sometimes the path where whether it's growing up or pursuing a passion, like, it gets a little rocky, and there are points where you stumble a little bit and you fall down, and having someone that's in your corner to help you get back up is, I mean, there's no
Yeah.
substitute for that if it's there.
Yeah, definitely. Who's your person? Or who are
Definitely,
your people?
definitely my family. My
Yeah.
family has always been incredibly supportive. They don't always understand my pursuits sometimes. Sometimes they're like, "That's what, like, they thought this was going to be like a radio show." They're like, I don't know what a podcast is, but like, if you want to do it, go ahead and do it." But they're
Yeah.
always supportive. Even if they don't see the vision, cuz sometimes it's a little out there. They are always, okay, what do we need to do? Like, how can we help? Where are we, like, my dad and my sister were the first two people on the podcast. Like,
Yeah.
we're sitting on a pool table with a ping pong top, and I got a couple, like, I had a couple of mics. I had like one camera, nothing else, and they're like, "Okay, let's do it." Like,
Yeah.
and my mom is, like, a religious listener to the show, um, and just like super supportive, just always not having like a negative aspect towards anything that I try to put my head to. I think
Yeah.
you need that.
Yeah. Definitely. I think, yeah, particularly in creative pursuits,
Mm-hmm.
is um, very important. Has been very important for me and for most people that are creative that I know.
Yeah, because there's no safety net with that. At least if you go get a job, okay, my bills can be paid. Like, I might hate my life, but at least everything, like, I'm not going to be homeless tomorrow. Whereas if you
Yeah.
go, it's not even necessarily just creative. It's something unstable, like starting a business or
Mm-hmm.
pursuing a passion. There's no safety net. Like, if you fall, it's gonna
It's gonna
hurt.
hurt by the time you
Yeah,
hit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's
What's
just,
the craziest? What's the craziest pursuit that came to mind? Like you were saying that even when you had like some of your ideas and some of them were pretty crazy. What were you thinking of?
oh man, I've had some. This is definitely a crazy one. They were definitely like,
Okay.
what you're gonna do what? And then people are gonna watch this, and I was like, well, I mean, maybe eventually, but like, I don't think anybody's gonna watch it in the beginning. They're like, so why are you like, what are you trying to, like, just understanding the vision, right?
Right.
But I mean, I bred crickets and sold crickets for a while as like a
Okay.
business venture. I did the same with cockroaches. Like, I
Huh.
also bred rabbits. I've made duct tape wallets and sold, like, as a kid, obviously not as an
Sure.
adult. I don't think people would buy them from me now. But I've just always I'm always doing something, which has
Yeah.
probably frustrated them a lot in life, but they've never said, "No, don't do this."
Yeah.
So in anything I've tried to do, I made and sold paracord bracelets for a little while. I had a little lawn mowing business for a little while. Like, try to keep I try to keep it moving in a way, I guess.
Yeah.
And they've just never said, "Oh, are you sure you?" They might have said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" But as soon as I say, "Yeah, like, I think this will be good," they're like, "Okay,
Yeah.
what are we gonna do? How do we enact this and make it happen?"
Yeah. I think it maybe comes from a place of recognizing um like recognizing a theme among them of ambition or of creativity or of um yeah, kind of pursuit of something that you find interesting, that even if the action itself is not something that is understandable, like, or sorry, even if the, venture, the details of the venture is unimportant, the fact that you're going on the venture um, is admirable and worth supporting.
I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
I think people get too hung up on, "I want to be here, so I'm gonna do everything I can to get to this end point."
Mm-hmm.
And I think the important thing isn't so much where you end up, it's the path that you're taking. Because you might fork off at this turn and go off on this other direction, and you might take another branch and go over here, but you're still moving forward and you're progressing. It might not be where you thought, but it might be better. Like I never thought 10 years ago I wouldn't have thought I'd be doing a podcast, but God, I'm so happy I am. And I'm
Yeah.
sure well you might have seen the music thing coming cuz you started
10 years ago,
younger.
I did see the
Yeah.
music thing coming, but it was
But I'm sure the path that you thought you would take isn't the one that you're on when you were
yeah,
that kid, right? And it's
yeah,
probably better. I think that it's incredibly important to just take a step back and say, okay, I have an idea of where this could go, but I'm going to be fluid enough to where if I start branching off, I'm just going to go with the branches and see. And as long as you're making steps in a general direction,
mm-hmm.
you're on the right path. We just get too
Yeah,
focused on that end goal, I think, sometimes.
yeah,
And it's easy to get trapped in that. Because what if something else happens that's better?
yeah. It's important to recognize unexpected opportunities, um, and even if they're even if they're distractions from what you're doing, if if they're pulling you strongly, maybe it's not a distraction that's going to take you away from your path. Maybe it's just a different fork on the path kind of a thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's all just I mean life is all about taking steps. As long as you're moving forward by whatever definition you take that as, you're making progress.